Welcome to the Old Man and the Three with JJ Redick and Tommy Alter, presented by Cash App and brought to you by 342 Productions. This is episode 83, PJ Tucker and our good friend Shea Serrano. Tommy, we have an amazing conversation with PJ. We have an amazing conversation with Shea about his new book. We're going to do a draft with him. We should address one thing real quick. This seems obvious, but I announced that I will be joining ESPN as an NBA analyst for this coming season. Excited about this. It's going to be amazing. I'll be doing mostly studio work. I'm hoping to do some games as well. We're going to try to fit me in where they can. This is in no way going to interfere with the pod.
Really good Twitter reaction from this. Every once in a while you drop one of these tweets and it'll just blow up, and people were coming out of the woodwork yesterday. People that didn't even know, like they've never talked about you publicly or anything like that, and they were like, "Oh my God, so excited for you," which is cool.
It meant a lot to me. It was similar to the retirement announcement. People just, the outpouring of support, congratulations, love, all that stuff, well wishes. It's pretty cool, man.
It's better than when you announce something and nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be starting next week, and I'll try as best we can when I know my schedule for ESPN. I will try on this pod to alert our listeners and our viewers about when I will be on ESPN and what I will be doing. But I'm really excited about this. It's going to be awesome. You guys are still going to get probably, arguably, the best player-to-player interviews in basketball on this pod.
Yeah.
That is not going to change. And it does not change with this PJ Tucker episode. PJ, by the way, this is his first time doing a podcast. He left it all on the table.
Well, I will say this, and we've talked about this. We've said it on the show before, but we've talked about it amongst ourselves, going back since we started. Us being able to do these in person takes it to another level, because PJ, he was just comfortable. We were hanging, and we were, and that's how you really get these stories out. And so it's really exciting, I think, for us as the season goes forward to be able to do more and more of this, is that, the COVID protocols are starting to be lifted a bit and things like that.
Absolutely. It also helps that I brought a bottle of 1996 Grand Cru Red Burgundy from Romani Sant Vivant.
He was on one.
Yeah,
we all were.
That helps. We are also going to be joined at the end of this episode by our good friend of the pod, Shea Serrano. Shea is a 3-time New York Times best-selling author. His new book was released this week, Hip Hop and Other Things. And I'm sure, like all his other books, it'll be wildly entertaining, informative, thought-provoking, and all that stuff. Excited for the draft we have with him. It's pretty open-ended. Tommy, you and I went to the Brooklyn Nets Heat game last night. We sat right near the court. A very heated game. Did you have any takeaways from that game?
Well, we should first of all, we should say we sat with our coworker and long shot co-host Davis Reed, and we saw our other coworker and other long shot co-host Duncan Robinson play. I guess my main takeaway, which I've been saying since day one, is the Heat are really good, and they're really tough. Everyone knows their role. They didn't particularly play that well last night, and they still went into Brooklyn and won by 12 points. It wasn't that close of a game at the end. And then one thing I'll say, and this is not to make any crazy predictions or anything like that, but people have not been talking about enough is, you never know with injuries, God willing, but Victor is going to play this year. Victor Oladipo is going to play this year, not next week, but he's going to play at some point. And if he is anywhere close to what he's capable of being, that to me is the best team in the East. That's just, I guess, that's my take right now.
Better than the Bulls?
Better than the Bulls.
You bring up Vic. It adds even more to Miami's depth, which I think is a great strength of theirs. The fact that they can bring a guy like Tyler Hero off the bench and have him emulate Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, Vinnie Johnson, and just be instant offense off the bench. You can run half-court sets through him. An interesting sort of sort of perspective I'm going to have on this season as I'm looking out over a full 82 game schedule is how much depth matters in the regular season. Obviously, during the playoffs, rotations shorten quite a bit. But if we're talking about which teams are going to seed particularly well and get home court for the first round, I think it's going to be the teams that have a ton of depth because of the bubble and because of the short turnaround between the bubble and last season and this season. And the Heat have as much depth as anyone. On the flip side of that, Brooklyn, very top heavy, and one of their three best players is not currently playing, and they're having to go deep into their bench. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out across the league this season. The other interesting thing that we talked about it quite a bit yesterday was the foul thing.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up.
We watched in person James Harden, and there was an interesting stat today. It's the first time since 2011, I believe, that he hasn't shot more than 5 free throws in 4 or 5 consecutive games. And I do believe, we talked about this a bunch during the game. We were harping on this a little bit. There's an emphasis on this sort of non-basketball move not being called as a foul. Harden throwing his arms into people, Trae Young doing the little butt check, jumping backwards, Steph launching himself into people. These are sort of the highlighted moves that have been noted by a number of people. The referees are going to emphasize this a lot at the beginning of the season. It may change throughout the year, but there's always an overemphasis of not calling fouls. There were a number of fouls, including by our guy, or against our guy Jimmy Butler last night, because he drove the ball and got hacked multiple times. And so that balance of finding what is a foul on a normal basketball move and what is a not a foul on a non-basketball move is going to be an interesting plot point throughout the season.
Super interesting. Well, one thing, last night aside, we ran into Jimmy a couple nights ago when we were taping with PJ, and you mentioned to him that he still, so far the season, has been one of the only guys who's actually been able to draw fouls. And why do you think that is?
He's physical, obviously. I don't think he's trying to trick anyone. So this brings up a point I wanted to make about James Harden. James Harden, by all accounts, and having played against him and having watched him for a decade plus now, is one of the smartest basketball players ever. He is a savant. He is so good with the basketball, and that's what has allowed him to sort of draw these fouls. He's going to adjust. He's going to be fine. He's too smart and too skilled not to. He will adjust. Jimmy's a little different. I don't think Jimmy's trying to game the system when he drives. He's trying to initiate contact, and he's so strong and big. When he does that, you're sort of left with the decision, do I give up a layup or do I hack him? Because he doesn't do anything illegal where he's dislodging you, but he's initiating that he's using his force to initiate contact, create that space. I'm shocked, by the way. I watched last night, and I watched the Heat game against the Magic in Miami a few nights ago, and Jimmy shoots 15 layups a game. I don't know many other wings that get to shoot 15 layups a game.
Well, he even if he misses, he gets his own rebound and he's back up with it.
It's amazing to watch, actually. Have you had any early impressions of rookies? I wanted to talk about rookies a little bit because I watched the Rockets game the other night when Jalen Green hit 8 threes. He looked super confident. The thing about Jalen Green, I'll be honest with you, I don't think Houston's going to be very good this year. I think there's a large chunk of the season where they won't be in playoff contention.
By the way, they may not want to be good. That may be part of the
100%.
Yeah.
Jalen Green is going to get every opportunity to put up a lot of counting stats. He's really skilled. There's a number of moves off the dribble that he's made in the first week that have been super impressive. He's shown he can make threes. He hit 8 of 10 the other night. He's been a really impressive rookie for me, especially at a young age.
What do you think about Cade? Our boy Cade so far.
If I was a betting man, Cade Cunningham, I would take him as Rookie of the Year. I still think he will end up, provided he stays healthy and plays in the normal amount of games, I think Cade Cunningham will be Rookie of the Year. I really believe that.
The other guy I wanted to shout out and ask you about, who I think we should just shout out from a team standpoint, because I think they've definitely been one of the early surprises of the first 2 weeks, is the Cavs. They went and beat the Clippers last night. They've beaten a number of good teams at this point. Big team, a lot of new pieces, a lot of depth. But Evan Mobley, he was a top 5 pick. He was really well regarded, coming into the season. But I think defensively, until you sort of see him in action, you kind of are not. This guy can guard everybody on the court.
Yeah,
he's a 7-footer.
He gets a lot of Chris Bosh comps. To me, he's at this stage like a bigger Bam Adebayo. He's a bigger Bam, and his numbers are great.
That's high praise.
I'm comparing him to an all-star and a Hall of Famer. Like the potential is there. He's averaging 2 blocks a game, 1.3 steals a game. Cavs have looked really well. Chris Duarte, by the way, is putting up numbers in Indiana. He's a fun guy to watch. I don't know if there's a benefit to being 24 years old as a rookie, but Rick is such a great tactician, and he allows players to get to their strengths.
Yeah.
He's another guy that I think could put up really good numbers. The other 3 guys the other 2 guys three guys I should say. The other 3 guys we should mention, Scotty Barnes in Toronto, who looks great. As good as advertised. Jason Kidd says he's going to be an all-star. Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner's brother, looks super solid, versatile, can play a number of positions, do a bunch of stuff on a basketball court for the Orlando Magic. He looks really good. And we got to shout out our guy, Davion Mitchell, who has played stellar defense, and we just had on last week. And I should mention a 4th guy, by the way. I love Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey, 18-10 last night versus the Lakers.
He's gonna get his chances. That's the thing about playing there, is the guy's we're gonna get to see what he's got.
He's like a better Joe Ingles,
Just love that. 4 or 5 games in, he's a better Joe Ingles. We need to break that out. That's the clickbait from this pod. Josh Giddey is a better Joe Ingles.
If there's ever a chance I get to kill Joe Ingles, I will take that chance. All right. Tommy, say you wanted to bet on who was going to win Rookie of the Year. I think a great way to do that would be on FanDuel.
Yeah, I think so too.
They've got odds up on everybody. For example, Jalen Green, plus 240 on FanDuel right now. FanDuel has an amazing promo right now. You get a $1,000 risk-free bet as a new user. So if you sign up for FanDuel, you deposit your money and you make a bet up to $1,000, you get $1,000 credit on the site if you lose that bet. Up to $1,000 credit on the site. It's pretty amazing. You got to be 21 or over. Age and location restrictions apply. You can see the full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. This is a great site. There's a number of games this weekend that we're interested in, Tommy.
Yep.
The spreads will be up day of. There's so many different ways to bet on the site.
I was going to ask you about this when we're talking about the rookies, because they have their 6 top listed rookies right now. Jalen is plus 240, is the top of the list. Cade is plus 410. Scotty Barnes is plus 600. Evan Mobley is plus 750. Giddey's plus 1,000. Jalen Suggs is plus 1,100. I mean, maybe I'm being biased because you talked to him 6 days ago, but how is somebody like Davion, like if Davion Mitchell is an all NBA defender as a rookie, does that make him a Rookie of the Year contender even if he scores 7 points a game?
Probably not, if we're being honest.
So defense is just not a thing that is.
No, I look, generally speaking, you get an award like Rookie of the Year or MVP if your counting stats are spectacular, plus decent efficiency, or you're an important piece on a championship contender. So when I think about guys that are going to put up numbers, I'm sort of thinking about rookies that are on either lottery teams or teams fighting for that play-in spot, which is why I think guys like Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, Josh Giddey, Evan Mobley. These guys are going to put up numbers. They're going to get every opportunity to play. Yeah, they're going to get every opportunity to play. And keep in mind, let's be honest, and we didn't talk about this last week when we had him on the pod, but Davion Mitchell is playing with two really good guards already in De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, and Buddy Hield. We should mention Buddy Hield, of course, as well. So I think for the numbers, for that perception, it's going to be hard for him.
We should also, we're going to start being accused of being a Kings pod, but we should shout out Harrison Barnes before we go to the break, just because Harrison has been balling.
Harrison is balling right now.
Harrison's always been like a good pro, so it's not like it's like he came out of nowhere, but like this is different. This is like a different Harrison.
It pains me. It pains me because he chose UNC over Duke. And we were right there. We were right there in the running to get him. I actually talked to Coach K a bunch about Harrison. I thought we were going to get him.
The one that got away.
Yeah, and he chose UNC. So it's hard for me to necessarily root for the guy, but he's such a good dude. I'm happy to see his early season success. Amazing buzzer beater last night against Phoenix. Big shout out. Big shout out to Harrison Barnes. I think we should get to our conversation with my guy, PJ Tucker. Let's get it.